Alright, so we had to go inside for a little while because it started storming. It's supposed to storm all this week. I ended up, this pile right here, I picked from around the cucumbers, and then I picked all of the orange tomatoes. Usually I won't pull tomatoes when they're orange, but all of this rain, I'm afraid they're just going to explode. And some of them had already started to crack, so I went ahead and got those, and they can just ripen up in the kitchen. And the green ones should be fine. They're a little bit harder than the orange ones, so they are less likely to crack. Also, I pulled the rest of the weeds out of this garden bed. I need to get my lettuce planted soon and get this bed prepped for fall garden. The only thing left in here is some roots that I couldn't get out, and this one little lonely carrot. I don't think it's ready to pick, but I'll let it stay. I need to add another bag of garden soil to this bed and mix it in before I start planting the lettuce. My asparagus is liking all this rain. Never grown asparagus before. I'm not really sure when it's supposed to get the asparagus tips on it so you can eat them. And I need to check and see when I'm supposed to dig up these peanuts. Also, I need to get these fence panels put in this garden bed. We're going to put them along this far side over here to make a trellis for Dean's peas, because we usually just let them run wild and they don't do very well. So we're going to put them up on this fence panel trellis. And I need to get the rest of this big garden weeded so that I can plant some more green beans and cabbages for the fall harvest. Morning! Welcome to Tiny Acres Homestead. So I have about less than 2 weeks before school starts back, and since I'm a teacher, I am going to be going back to school whenever the kids do. So I have a ton of stuff to get done before that happens. And I think I'm going to start by clearing out this garden. Sorry, my camera fogged up. So I'm going to clear out this garden, pick the things that need to be picked, get rid of all the weeds, and do my fall planting. In this garden, I think I'm going to put a couple more rows of cabbage and some rows of bush beans. The bush beans that I planted near the corn all got eaten by rabbits, except maybe 2 plants. Yesterday, Dean and I cleared out the weeds from this garden and that garden, and we are going to plant peas in this one with the carrots, and in this one I'm going to put down some more lettuce, and hopefully it will do better in a fall garden than it did in the summer, because it got way too hot way too fast. So, but anyway, we will start weeding. looks like we've made no headway at all on the weeding of this garden. I had to work for a week, and we got more rain and stuff just grew right back. So I did get cleaned out around this tomato that decided it wanted to grow there, and this one last potato plant. And I cleaned out around the giant cucumber plants. We have been getting quite a few tomatoes off of these bushes, and I think some of them are trying to die. Lots of brown leaves now. But we've got some more to pick. I've been picking them before they get completely ripe because I don't want them to bust open. We've been having a lot of rain here. Not as much as some of the other parts of my state. Eastern Kentucky has had a lot of rain and has caused a lot of flooding and a lot of death. Luckily, we don't have to deal with all of that, but we have had quite a bit of rain. Also, this is a new kind of pumpkin that Dean planted here. I have never in my life seen a pumpkin vine like this. It's huge. And his watermelon is just everywhere. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this corn. It's really strange. Never planted field corn before, but this was accidental planting of field corn because meat chickens are very, very messy. So we got plenty of free corn plants and sunflower plants. This one's looking pretty good. Hopefully it blooms soon. We had a couple of them growing in the meat coop that isn't being used. The chicks are still in the house right now, but Dean broke those. And I'm not completely sure how I'm gonna move this once the chicks move outside because Dean's watermelon is growing up the back. So we'll have to figure that out. We'll probably have to cut it. But we're gonna get back to weeding the garden, and hopefully we can get all of that done today and get our fall crops planted tomorrow. Alright, so it is like super hot out here, but I got a little over half, well maybe half of the garden cleared out. Need to do something with that area too, and Dean's strawberries, and I'm gonna move them next year, but I'm gonna let them be where they're at for now. And that, I can't remember what that is. I think it's oregano. I got a basil and a parsley. I need to clear out around those. I need to get the rest of these cabbages up. I'm probably just gonna give them to the chickens because they're tiny and they're not gonna get any bigger. It's too hot for them now. And I've got this giant load of weeds that I've pulled out today in a apparently a tick. The chickens are gonna love this. They're just gonna go nuts. So I will get back to work a little bit, and then we'll take this out to the chickens. Well, I tried to get all of the weeds up from this garden yesterday. It got dark on me. It's been way too humid and hot to do anything today, but I did pretty good yesterday. Got that big clump left to get out. Those are tough. And I need to clear out around this cabbage and get this cabbage up and clear out around these herbs. Then I need to clear out around these cabbages and get those up. And I need to clear out around the strawberries. But overall, I did pretty good. Today, it's just really hot, and I'm just gonna harvest some stuff. We picked these cucumbers yesterday and completely forgot to take them in the house. Hopefully they're okay. This one feels really strange. There were a couple more that we left yesterday and didn't pick. I'll probably go ahead and get them today. We need to get some tomatoes picked. Hopefully they haven't busted. I've been neglecting to pick them. Usually I pick whenever they're just starting to turn orange, that way they don't bust. But we haven't had too much rain in the past few days, so I'm sure they'll be fine. Oh, there's another cucumber or two in here I need to grab. There's one. Some of these are still pretty small. I'll leave those on for now. There's one. Cucumbers are things that you need to keep a really good eye on, or they will just get huge. I think this is all of the ones I need to get. Here's another one I need to get tomorrow or the next day. Keep an eye on it. Maybe we'll be able to make some pickles soon. We'll see. Let's get the tomatoes. This cucumber vine is also starting to grow some little tiny cucumbers on it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab all the ones that are orange and all the ones that are red, because you can see those started to bust. We don't want that. Oh no, these busted bad. I don't even know if I can use these. Both of these did. It's wide open, full of ants. I'm just gonna put them down. They're full of ants. This one is not busted. It's also not very big, but it's okay. Little ones work just as well as the big ones. This one's shaped really weird. Oh, I see that one had a little bit of end rot. We'll just cut around it. It's fine. And we've got some peppers. Pepper's growing. I think those are jalapenos. We've got mostly sweet peppers in here, but we do have some jalapenos as well. And I'll just let these finish getting ripe on the kitchen table. That way they don't bust any more than they have already. Alright, I'm going to finish picking these and then I'll show you what we got all together. Alright, we did not do too bad. I did find one more potato plant. And it only had 2 potatoes on it. Big surprise. And look at this. Baby green beans. So, I am sweating like crazy. It's super hot and I don't think I'm going to get this stuff weeded today. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be a little bit cooler. Maybe I can get up super early, but it is just way too hot today. But whenever I get finished, I'll show you what it looks like. Took forever, but I finally got everything cleared out. I need to rake up all of this. This is all just piles of weeds that I've torn up right through here. And this took forever because Dean's strawberry plants have invaded this area and they are not even supposed to be on this side of the fence. I haven't weeded this side because this is strawberries and I'm not gonna plant any fall crops here. So what I'm gonna do is on this end we will plant green beans. I'm gonna rake all this up because it's just a bunch of grass and hay and straw laying here. I'm just gonna try to make some rows. Leave the stuff laying on the ground to decompose there. This cucumber vine has got so many flowers on it. I don't even think I've ever seen a cucumber vine have so many flowers. But we're going to try to get some seeds planted today. And don't have very much time left before I have to go back to work. So that's what we're going to get done. Okay, so there are 5 rows here. I'm going to plant these Blue Lake bush beans. Hopefully these do pretty good. While I was making the rows, I happened to look over and started seeing cucumbers galore. So I've picked 8 cucumbers off of these vines. And they're growing crazy. They're all over the place. These are the volunteer cucumber vines that were not actually planted, but they're doing really well. The ones that I did plant are over here, and they're a little bit slow. All right, let's start planting. Prove a little bit difficult, because I don't have a tripod or anything like that. I just have to hold the camera. So I'm just gonna make a hole. Whoops, I don't want that many in there. Every little bit. And put a bean. And then I'll just come back over these and put some dirt on top of them. And I'm not really measuring how far apart anything gets. When Dean helps, they usually end up in piles, but he's still in bed because he did not want to go to sleep last night at all. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of these planted and then we'll cover them over. So I was looking at the back of the pack, and apparently I waited a little late to plant these. It said to plant in May and July. It's about the 4th, 5th day of August right now, so hopefully these do have time. Our first frost date is not expected until October, so hopefully these have enough time to produce a little bit before the frost gets here. Our frost dates are always a little off. I think for the zip code that is on our mail, the frost date is October 10th, but we live just as close to another zip code as we do that one, and their first frost date is not until October 26th. So it's difficult to go by zip codes whenever trying to find your frost date. We're just gonna some dirt on these, get them in the ground. I think it's gonna rain a little bit more this afternoon. It rained yesterday a lot. So the ground is nice and wet, nice and moist right now, so. I may water these in. I may see what the rain does. But the ground's pretty wet, so. I did not end up needing both of those plants. One was plenty for this little space. I didn't want to replant where I had them before because figure rabbits and stuff would just come back and eat plants again, so. Potatoes were here before. So the ground should be a little bit loose. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of these in the ground.